各位，欢迎来到我们今天 AI 全 Web Science School 的分享会，我是主持人微微。今天呢，我们请到的是 Fluxy 这个 Head of the Rails
嗯
Sky 老师啊，他今天也会带我们从支付场景切入，讨论这个 AI agent 跟 Web3 支付结合时可能会产生的一些真实需求啊、交互路径，还
嗯
有产品边界。然后相信现在其实大家都在开始打磨自己 Hackathon 的项目啊，也会非常有意义的一场分享。OK，老师您可以 share 一下你的屏幕。
哦，我已经 share 了。
OK。
对，那我用英文吧，就我可能中文
可以。
会有一点对。All right. So yeah, good evening, everybody. So today I'm going to be talking about harness engineering for financial intelligence. So these are really big words for now, but I'll break it down later. So let me play this. Oh, 这个我这样讲可能 OK. So yeah, so what is FluxA and what are we doing at FluxA? So we're building a AI native payment infrastructure for AI agents. So so right now you can see that Coinbase pushed out the X402 protocol last year, and the volume has been increasing a lot. So we're building on top of 402 and trying to enable agents to pay for different kind of scenarios. So you'll be kind of be confused by why we should build wallets for agents, why even give money to agents. Well, I'll be breaking that down next. So right now we are building a few scenarios. One is agent to agent, where agents is paying other agents for tasks. So we collaborated with Agent Hansa on that, where agents can help build tasks. Say you want some manual script written for your TikTok videos, or just videos for marketing. They can do all that, and the underlying wallet is processed with FluxA and agent to merchant. So it's basically a B2C business where agents ask merchants, say like OpenAI or Anthropic, for their API use. Now we have the agent to tool, so it's the more generic API. So anybody used Appify um, or a Nano Banana, a Rapid API, all those that, and also transferring. So yeah, we're enabling payments. So the end user will still be humans, but you can use agents to transfer your money, whether it's USDC or all that, and also payment. So right now we're kind of like Alipay with the QR code, and when you scan that QR code, or when you're trying to buy food on the street, you can do all that kind of transfers. So yeah, so what problem are we trying to solve here? And it's going to be a generic problem, right? So everybody's learning, and so right now, LLMs. So in 2023, late 2023, LLM, the first work like the marketing, for large language models came out, and then everybody's talking about it. What's a large language model? So now we have a pretty clear understanding that all these seven Bs, which whatever, are all kinds of just called large language models, and they're being enabled by more tools. So if you remember the 2023 2024 era, where ChatGPT is kind of still a little bit stupid. It doesn't know how to browse the web. It just kind of help you write stuff, change essays and that. And now they're evolving into agents. So they're being more, they have more external tools. You can see in the right, the first one is Gemini. You can create image, although it's using another model. We kind of don't know how the routing works, but they're delegating work to other models. And then you have the create videos, deep research. So deep research is basically a loop, but the underlying tools are built by humans. And also, is there a chat? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, and also creating music. It's also kind of delegation to other models. And on the right, we also have. I'm just gonna make this larger. So on the right, we also have Manus. Manus was extremely popular last year, to replace white collar work. So you have create PPTs and all that. We now know kind of its skills, and then also there's some underlying tools. So same for ChatGPT in the bottom right. And and so sorry. So all that are kind of internal tools. So company build their own tools in their own underlying infrastructure. And let's say, right now Codex, Cloud Code, is pretty popular. All those stuff are internal tools, right? So whether it's the create image for a Gemini, or it's, let's say, for Cloud Code, it's the grip, the write read files, a web fetch, and bash. Those are all external. Sorry, internal. So we might want to enhance the capability. So we're asking questions. So can it generate images? If let's say we just have a Cloud Code out of the box, how do we generate images, right? Write PPTs, directly replace Manus, across the scope. How do we do deep research? So those are all the fundamental tools we can use with a agent harness that's being already built by large companies like Anthropic out of the box. But they're not there. So what's the next step? And maybe you say, oh, I can host one, and then I'll just let my agent use that. It's not kind of scalable because on the internet there's so many people doing the same thing again and again. We might as well just use theirs, big teams. And so yeah, also next question is, can it really become the personal assistance that we're hoping for? Jarvis. Can it book the tickets, any ticket, concert, plane ticket? Can it book hotels? Can it do online shopping? So all those stuff is kind of there, but there's no channel. So let's say you want to generate image with a nano banana or Kling, a C dance, all that. You have to go manually one by one, add their APIs, and it's extremely frustrating. You end up with like, I don't know, 7, 10 APIs. I got a lot of APIs too previously, and it's not feasible, right? Nobody's managing that for you. And also agents, it's pretty dangerous. You give them the API. Previously, they used to just read the .inf and load it as a system variable, but now they're just reading it, right? I know a lot of people probably experience that. And it's just extremely dangerous. You have to expire it, go about it again. So it's external tools that will ultimately enable these agents. And so agents they need money, right? You pay for all these API calls. You charge credits into it, but they still need money. You have to go personally, check it one by one, insert your credit card. It's just too much. And also, you wouldn't remember even sometimes, how many platforms have been so many, these platforms. So these AIs are evolving and has evolved into these executors that can interact with this world. So they can use these external tools, and payment is what will ultimately give them these capabilities to participate in this human economic activities. So they'll kind of pay for you on your terms. And we know that, and kind of we know that from the bottom of heart is that in order to interact with human economy, you need a wallet. So right now we're seeing this evolution, right? So 2 years ago it was prompt engineering, where we're dealing with this single turn interactions. We're trying to tune the prompt so that the agent, the language model can perform to its best possibility. Possibility. And then we have the context engineering. So we're engineering the multi-turn context windows for these AI models. And what is the next step? So right now, all the OpenAI, all these companies have proposed a harness engineering. I still believe it's kind of it's still pretty kind of young right now, but it encompasses the both. So you have prompt engineering and context engineering baked into it, but it's already kind of tuned for you, right? So you use Cloud Code. You don't have to tell it, to read files again and again, each file at a single time. And also they just kind of get their context. They know what tools they have. They know what tools they can use. Also, is that you don't have to constantly, supervise its output. A lot of people trust, you know, Claude codes like fix it. I got a bug, fix it. Right? You don't kind of constantly need to supervise what each line of code is written, and also the effort just simply is being migrated from users' repeated labor into these agent systems. They're more autonomous. They're more smart, intelligent in a way you can say. It's just a lot of these efforts are transitioned. So yeah, so we believe so. Looking at this huge problem, right, and looking at the AI in a big, big picture, is that as these models get smarter, they're kind of entering the next permission ladder. What that means is, let's say you wouldn't let GPT, from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, use your computer, right? Now there's computer use. So it's kind of by passing slowly and slowly into a more personal space. And we kind of have asked the question, so what is, this ladder? So first is that this code access. We're letting, Claude take care of a lot of our our code, and it's kind of folder based, right? So we're managing them in these folders, and those are scoped. And then the second is the environment access. So more of the bigger the bigger, maybe like the whole computer. And but we've seen disasters already, right? So there's rm-rf wiping out the whole computer from people. So we kind of wouldn't even trust them on these production, AWS. We kind of just manually do these work still. And then so this is still an exploration, right? And we all know that it's not going to come any, maybe like next week. So and then there is this financial access, is to let agent free roam to actually pay for whatever you need to use, and let them do it. Give them the trust. And money is kind of very personal, extremely personal, and also imagine RM-RF's your whole bank account, right? That's pretty crazy. So um, it is really largely unaddressed, and from a risk perspective, it's extremely high. So at Fluxo, we are building the financial harness. And I'm just going to give you an overview. So how we define problem is that, right now an agent is instructed to, let's say, perform a task where it requires external paid API calls. Sorry, let me. And then the agent asks for like a payment approval from the agent, from the human, in the form of a mandate. I'll show that later. And then the agent does what it asks for approval. Sorry, doesn't have to ask for approval for each API usage. So why is that important? So right now, we have, let's say OpenClaw. It does a lot of these curl, bash commands, whatever, accessing your computer. It doesn't ask you every time. If it asks you every time, it's extremely cumbersome. You have to just keep on pressing return, enter, whatever. So in order to enable this, fluency, frictionless use, we we want to minimize that kind of back and forth asking. And then the fourth is we, based on this mandate, based on the payments information, we have a underlying risk control that kind of guard and monitor these transactions. So the first is a mandate. So what is a mandate? Well, it's an intent-based constraint, which means that the intent here is defined as where user authorized task or goal that every downstream transaction must adhere to. So the authorization object is the task itself, not any individual payments. And to give an example, easy example here is, say, book me a flight ticket from A to B, and I want it to be under $1,000. So it would go through these websites and trying to find the ticket. If it, let's say it finds a ticket for 900, and then we check that payment information with our risk engine, it's good. We let it pass. If let's say the website is in our blacklist or is extremely dangerous and can be doing prompt injections, we our risk engine forbids it. So that if it, there's a lot of rules. If it goes over $1,000, we reject all sort of those stuff. And let's say if the agent hallucinates and buys you the ticket from A to C instead of A to B, we also do that kind of rejection. So this is the intent based, and it's presented to the user. So you'll see this on your page, on your approval page, which I'll show later, and it'll ask you, is this what the agent has understood this? Is this what you want? And if you approve, okay, the agent will go ahead and execute this task. The second, a more fundamental layer is our financial harness. So I kind of just over-explained it, but it's basically the mandate is a sandbox. It's the permission folder that is restraining the agent from doing wild spending. So let's say if you're doing this, travel $2,000 per week, you're going for on travel and you want to budget $2,000 a week. We wouldn't let any unrelated project here, a random purchase subscription service go inside. Even just your pet food, that would have to be under another mandate that you approve. But it would be, let's say, an API to schedule your vacation plan, your hotel booking, your car rental, your tickets. So those are all the stuff that's kind of allowed in our this kind of sandbox. And the third part is spending validation. So right now we're kind of agent is kind of contextual, right? You give it enough context, it will understand whichever it does. But if you don't give it enough context, it automatically kind of fails at times. And probably a lot of people have experienced. So what is enough context, right? This enough is kind of vague. And that's also what we want to address, given enough time and evaluation loops. So here on the slide, just to do a quick comparison, is that encoding the feedback loop is to write code, build, test, catch errors, and then do a feedback into the context and fix that bug. And the agent kind of automatically iterates until it finishes, and it has these, let's say, a linter or npx to kind of check that the build works. But in finance, you kind of don't. It's not. You don't have the the margin of error. Sorry, the margin is pretty thin. You make a mistake, the money's gone. It's gone, and the equivalent loop is much harder. Say you pay, right? You pay and then you check and then you fail. So we will have to build that, a priori. You have to check everything through before paying, and there's no loop. There's just one time. So yeah, wire transfers cannot be rescinded, and the financial harness needs validation that operates before the settlement is done. And so we have all these built-in stack. Just quickly go through them, and then we can have some fun. So first is the I don't 有声音吗？可能是空调关。Right. So the first is we have a rule-based filtering, which is the most fastest, and then it's also similar to the risk control, industry standard. And we have blacklist, whitelist, and then obvious like deviations from the mandate scope. let's say you're going on travel and then it's asking you to buy a coffee for $2, um, or do like a Spotify subscription, and also just these kind of repeated identical transactions. Um, so we actually experienced attack before, where there's a lot of people trying to um, trying to transact between themselves, and because we had kind of had like a mission, transact to earn some money, and they were just doing these loops. Ultimately, we found it, and then we forbid that. So there's a lot of iterations for these kind of stuff, and for rule base, it's really quick. We just blacklist these addresses, also the associated information with it, and then the error rate is actually not that bad. So the second one is these intent matching. Let's say we our rules don't catch it. What's the next step? We just let it through. So what we do is we do an intent matching. We have your payment information. Let's say you're currently purchasing, your agent is purchasing a booking for you, and then we check it. We check it with the mandate. Oh, sorry. We check it with the mandate. So the mandate will say, I'm going on a travel. I'm looking to spend $2,000. Help me figure out all these plane tickets and everything, and you approve that. And based on this piece of natural language, we check that with your payment information, because the interactions, let's say for agents, it's always these natural languages. So this natural language is very it feels vague, but it's the most important part to check against all the payment information later. So we do this intent matching, and then we trace that back to the mandate. So is this, transaction semantically consistent? And also, is the spending path reasonable? Let's say if you have already booked the hotel, and then the agent tries to book another one, we might not let that through. Sorry, I meant you means like all the agent activity. So you're just checking. You wouldn't need to book it yourself. And the third is that we have it against a model evaluation. So this is a pretty new stack, and it's becoming very popular, over these 3 years as the model is becoming really, really good. And basically is that when even the first two can't decide, we leave that to a agent, and the agent is only, we kind of have to do some manual labor later, but the agent either flags it, or because we don't trust that much with agents on its own. Um, so we also have to check that manually later. But if it flags it, then we know there's something wrong. If it let it go, we have to do a final check before we let it go. So yeah, we have all these three layers, and we're seeing extremely good results with benchmarks that we built in-house with a lot of wild data from the Expo2 community. And yeah, so that kind of concludes the fundamentals of our agent harness. Um, Given the time, I think I'm advised to do more some demos to show you instead of going to more technical details. So yeah, just a quick marketing thing. So we're in collaboration with Baidu AI Cloud, where we're having, so there are Qianfan models hosted on our Fluxa platform, and uh, the goal is to unlock daily active agents to transact, use these models. So these models can be used as consultants. If you have a smaller model, you can use these bigger models to consult your model, or as a judge. And then we're the first, their global distribution for agent-to-agent payment, connecting asset insurance, trading, automated selling, and it's across border, so you can use anywhere in the world. And the third is that we currently already have 90K agents. It's actually 11K as I saw today, and we have more than 10,000 resource monetized um, for AI native a cross-border payment rail. So I'm gonna demo two things. One is what we built with our agent wallet. Is this sorry? Uh, uh, I want to share it. Give me 1 second. How do I? Uh, okay, so yeah. So this is a VC research platform where a research is based on a given based on a given Twitter, oh sorry, X handle. So I've put our AI Web3 school inside, and it basically ignores the score. The score is not accurate at this moment. It's still being improved, but we have all the other stages, and then it basically gives a project overview. So it's an early open bootcamp builder program. Um, and then it focuses on the AI Web3 intersection and jointly initiated with Alex Dahl. And so why is this important? So I'm just gonna put a new research in, and I'm gonna put in a Web3 school again. And here we can see that, so in traditional deep search, right, deep research, if you just use your API key, it'll go wild. You don't know how much money you actually costed you at the end of the research. But here we make it as a mandate. So the underlying research is also done by an agent with external tools, API tools such as Firecrawl and Reddit API scraper and those stuff. Sorry, X API scraper. And so here you can see a mandate is being formed. And it's this agent that's requesting $2 to do the task. So it's research budget for AI Web3 school at $2. And once you approve it, it's approved. This doesn't work for now. And so it'll start to do the research. And I'll show guys the log. So basically, we can see it, it gets the Twitter profile, and these are all tools that it pays for at each time. And we do a calculated metering, all these steps, it's doing deep research. And we do a calculated metering at here. So the budget, so the final cost of this whole research is 7 cents. And it shows that the token usage is 42.27, and the tool call is 31 cents at 1 cent each, and it calculates to the whole charge. So basically at the end of this, you're charged with 0.7327, and and the $1.26 something goes back into your wallet. And so I guess the other one I want to show is how our Flexa pay works. So here is our website, and if you do use Flexa, you can see that these these agents are live transacting. These are the these are the addresses, and then these are the inflow of payments from one to another. And here we have a quick experience. So if I just open, maybe I should share my whole screen. Okay. Sorry. Let me just, sorry. Yeah, let me, So if I just copy and paste these, let's say I'll just enable with Claude. And I'm gonna read the skill and I'm gonna use a and ask it to create a sorry and so our one shot API. So it's gonna read it really quick and um, and once it reads it, it will just put it on auto mode. And so I'm gonna show you real quick also what we have. So we have this earn money. If you copy and paste this, first paste this prompt and then paste this prompt to your agents, it will be able to register for Agent Hansa. And on Agent Hansa, there's daily missions that your agent can do to earn money. There's also social payment, so it's what we call a Claw Pie. It's a uh, red packet uh, platform where agents can interact, pay each other, or just give out money. And sorry, and our one-shot API skills, basically it's skills. Those skills itself doesn't require money, but some skills might have built-in, external APIs that I can use. And so, yeah, these are all the sorry, the bigger cards. If you guys interested? And so while it's loading, oh, it's being denied by the auto mode. Let me just, oh, okay. So so now I'm gonna do is go to X, and then I'm gonna uh, paste in. I'm gonna paste in this whole article. So I'm just gonna do Control A. So generate a image for marketing of this. Right, so Claude Code is a coding agent. You can also do this same with OpenClaw, uh, Hermes, or Codex. Like it supports any agent out there. Oh, okay, so yeah, it's gonna take a little bit, and okay, the cell install. Okay, so right now it's configuring the wallet. Uh, and it'll do a let's go. Okay, so it has did a discovery on our monetized website, and it's showing all the service that we have. It doesn't render a nice enough UI for humans, but it looks amazing for agents, as it's all markdown tables. So now it needs to create a mandate. And these are all just based on the prompt, the first prompt. But yeah, I'll save some time for you guys. Here is the one I already ran. Um, uh, so here is the final video, final image generated uh, by Claude using Nano Banana. And the process was pretty smooth. Basically, let me see if it. Okay, so yeah, it's asking for a language. Maybe you can do Cyberpunk. I could do Cyberpunk. Do yeah, basically it's just this one prompt, right? The first prompt, and then whatever context you want to feed it into it. Okay, so now it's going to create a mandate. Just by clicking that, it will open the link for me. So once this mandate is created, let's say it wants to generate up to 3 images, right? So I don't have to manually approve the three image once at a time, and I'll just do it signed. And once it's done, it'll just feedback instead of having to sign a signature every single time. So checking that the mandate is signed for 30 cents. I'm not sure why the auto mode doesn't work for Cloud today. Okay, so it sees the Expo 2 and it says the mandate is in USDC and it'll just pay for the Expo 2. And so just a fun fact, like the auto mode classifier, it's also trying to, right, it's upping the level of agent harness. It's also trying to make things go faster without humans having to intersect, having to do this enter clicking every single time, like how OpenClaw is as well. Um, and it also has these filter, right? So some, let's say curl you cannot use, whichever you cannot use. Um, okay, so it generated the image. Um, Now Banana does take like around 25 to 30 seconds for each image. Um, but yeah, so it's downloaded. Um, I'll just pull this out. Oh, because it's truncated. Sorry. See here. Finale. Right. So, guess here is it generated. The prompt is also written by Claude, and yeah. So that's all I have to share for today. We can't wait for it to generate another 2 images, but or yeah. So up for questions if anybody has any. All right, so it's still asking. We still have 20 cents for the next 2 hour left. So we do have for each mandate we do have a time constraint, so that if you approved it for externally, that's basically like an API key, and once it gets spent, you don't know like the spending goes. Yeah, so yeah, that's all I have to share for today. Anybody has any questions?
Mm.
Uh,
Okay, guys, I think it's time for Q&A section. So I think you can just unmute to ask. Otherwise, you can just typing down questions in the comments area. Otherwise, just maybe we can ask in Chinese, right?
oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm just my presentation is not good in not fluent in Chinese, but
OK，
我中文还 OK。嗯，
OK，好，大家如果有问题，其实也可以用中文提问啊，也可以上麦来提问，或者是在评论区提问都可以的。对，老师刚刚给我们演示了一些demo，大家可以有什么问题也可以现在提问哦。
然后然后我可以把我的那个呃微信放上来，不好意思，稍等一下。大家是都没有问题。嗯，
嗯
对，就是我的微信，大家要想之后有问题的话，也可以加一下，然后我都很乐意为大家解答。对，这也是一个这个 validation loop。
，OK，对，大家可以 scan QR code，嗯，看一下，看一下。OK，那我来问个问题吧，就是想问一下，就是因为现在我们提到很多这种 agent to agent 啊，like just agent payment。What do you think like agents will rely on to, establish trust with one another in the future, like agent to agent, especially, transactions or just hold some assets in your accounts, like we all need that building trust. So what do you think that's the most basic things like reputation or some on-chain credentials, something like that?
Sorry, may I rephrase your question? Ask the question. So your question is, how can we build more trust
Yes,
for
with
agent to
the
transact?
yeah, like agent to agent, like agents relate onto expect trust with one another.
Oh, trust. So agent trusting another agent.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
oh, that's a really good question. So yeah, so we also is kind of exploring in this direction, and um, so we believe that everybody starts cold, right? So nobody has any trust to anybody at first, and
Mm-hmm.
but people kind of build a profile. Some people do a hot start. They build a profile, and
Mm-hmm.
let's say their profile already includes how much they've already transacted in the past, not to agents, maybe their buying history, what they bought already, and I think that's a pretty good place to start. And if agents are just cold, it would be more reliable to transact with these big names at first, and then slowly, you have agents that already paid for a lot of stuff, so you can kind of trust them because they already paid a lot of money, and um, and so it would be how can I say? So let's say Sorry. I think I misunderstood your question. So you're kind of asking like from, a service offering perspective, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. So the answer is the cold start is never easy. So we always have to try it before trusting, and the trust kind of just slowly builds. So you also it's about their history with other clients. It's kind of like Yelp or all these restaurants, new restaurants. Nobody trusts these new restaurants at first, and then until you try it. But if the first time is good, you kind of believe in it a little bit more, until it becomes normal.
Okay. Great,
Yeah.
great. Let's say, do you have any other questions from the audience? Otherwise, I
我有
just
个问题，
哦，
oh
您说。
OK，
哦。
就是我想问一下，在您的那个观察下面的话，你觉得说未来agent to agent 之间的这个交互，这个 agent 到底定义的是一个什么东西？它是一个像 Hermes 这样子在运行的一个
嗯
能 like a decentralized like a user owned instance, or it is like a service provided by um some company.
嗯Yeah, it's a pretty good question. So I think so first we all know what agent is, right? It kind of decides things dynamically, and we kind of just host them on our own computer. So yeah, Hermes, OpenClaw are all agents, um so what's the other part of the question?
因为我一直有一个
您
疑惑，
说中文吧。
就是说大家在说这个 agent 的时候，然后他们其实大家的定义其实会比较不一样。就是比如说在我们在做这个 X02支付的时候，然后可能我们会去 pay for a service，right? Somebody offer。
对。
然后这个时候的
嗯
话，它可能它表现的形式，它并不一定是一个正在运行的一个 agent，它可能更像是一个 API pay per use，right？
对
然后，但
对。
是在另一个方面的话，我们在谈到 agent 的时候，它可能就是一个像 Hermes 这样子，它能够agentic 的去帮你去完成一些工作，这样子的一个东
哦，
西。然后所以就是我觉得说，
明白。
在很多时候我们在谈论 agent 的时候，其实它的含义是不一样的，就它的 definition 并不是说非常的统一。
嗯
然后，所以我们在说支付的时候，我们在说我们支付，不管是用 X02啊、MPT 啊，我们说我们在支付一个 agent 的时候，然后它很有可能就像是一个传统的一个 API service，然后但是我们在
明白。
真正使用的时候，好像我们在讲这个 agent 的时候，它又是一个只是跟我们在对话的一个 Hermes，然后当我们谈到说像
嗯
Hermes 这样的 agent 的时候，它其实并没有向外部其他的 agent 提供服务，对不对？就你电脑上面你的 agent，包括说那个
对。
cloud，
嗯
它是呃 specifically 跟你在对话，你在给他任务，他并没有去
对。
把他自己的这些 service capability exposed to right
嗯
in public，就我是这个意思。
嗯
然后，所以我就是想看一下您的看法，就是说未来的话，你觉得说，这个 payment 跟 payment，然后它会是一个什么样的一个终极形态？我们怎么样能够把这些概念给它理清楚？
嗯。是这样的，我觉得所有的 agent 如果它是 expose 出来的，就是从传统意义上来讲，它确实是个 API，就是对吧？它都是 API，因为 API 这个定义很宽泛嘛，这什么东西它都只要是 expose 出来，你能通过这种传统，比如说 REST 去用它，它都是一个 API。那我觉得就是 agent 做得到，然后 API 做不到呢，就说一些呃比较怎么说呢，比较繁琐复杂的一个这些活儿，就比如说那个 deep research 那种，它需要一些 dynamics 的，我觉得很多 API 是做不到的，或者说你可以相当于说你 API 后面要藏个 agent 也行，但是对很多现在越来越复杂的活，传统 API 做不到。比如说，如果你现在去看很多这些Rapid API 或 Applify，它们本质上还就是一些比如说一些小的 scraper，然后一些很专项的一些 scraper。 那可能比如说你是一个 A2A 服务的，那 agent 会用到背后的这些 scripter，它能一下调多个这些 API 去使用，它的那个输出的结果会更灵活。就是这个结果其实如果你是人去审核的话，或者你去看的话，其实你大概也知道后面到底是一个，就这个 API 后面到底是一个这种传统的，比如说一个很很 static 的一个 API，还是一个 agent。对它，我觉得 agent 这个新的宽泛概念更多是在讲，就是我们怎么一个，比如说我们调好的这么一个这智能体，然后根据我们自己调好的给它的一些工具去提供一些服务，就我觉得它本质上其实和 API 其实差距也不大。对，嗯，
谢谢您的回答。
不知道，
还有一个 following
嗯，
up，就是呃，像像我刚才看
哎，
您在
你好像有点
演示的时候啊，那
断断的。
个或者是它的这个，
对，
对他，我找是他可能网稍微有点不太稳定。
哦，嗯。明白，就我也可以演示一下这个 Hermes，但是这个 Telegram 它可能有一些个人信息，我不知道嗯怎么去清掉。
没关系的，没关
嗯
系的。
嗯嗯，
OK，
对，
看一下吴老师要不要在那个评论区发一下 follow up question，或者是
嗯
他发了，他是想知道产品的 go to market 或者怎么样的。
我们现在产品的 go to market 是我们整体这个 f a x a 现在的 go to market 吗？呃，
对，应该是
对，
的。
明白，就我们现在已经推了挺多的，一个是我们那个之前那个 cloud 派，就那个派红包的活动，然后它是吸引了一些广告商，就是那个是这样的，就是我们会一开始就是冷启动的时候，我们给这些来的龙虾，对吧，去派红包，然后他们就会一直就有一些留存嘛，就可能派一些红包，然后每天派一些，然后那之后就有些新的玩法，就比如说我有个任务，然后我想看你们这些 agent 能不能做，我们就衍生出了一个，就是只有做好的那个 agent 可以去拿这个红包，然后后面还有一些广告商，就是广告商就比如说他需要你评论一下，你才可以拿一个红包，就相当于也是给他们做的这种宣传嘛。然后，对，就是我看人他就是我们一开始的冷启动，就是因为我们就是 wallet，所以说就是比较跟钱相关。那一开始大家都不知道有可能有什么样的可能性，那之后就是发现会有一些这些比较好玩，然后大家自己好玩的也是这种会这些我路径是什么？就是呃从嗯就从现在的角度来说呢，我觉得就是当发现 agent 的一些功能性不足，然后呢，它需要去经常举个例子吧，就比如说比如说炒股，然后呢，我想做一些研究，那我有一些这些stock 的这些研究，然后呢，我想让 cloud 去通过这些研究端点去帮我分析这些股票，那它这些就是这个怎么说？那个 stock 的那个 research 的那个 API，就是比如说 research 就是那些数据端点有很多嘛，然后我就希望我的 cloud 能去自己去找这些端点，然后呢，每次数据的时候它支付。当然，我在做这个研究的时候，我有一个就是决定目标，比如说我想研究的是这只股票的一些新闻 sentiment，或者说它的一些财务报表。那我可能一下研究很多很多这种股票，那最后就是 Cloud 去帮我执行，然后呢自己支付，然后把这些数据扒下来，然后自己去把整个分析写出来。就以后 我觉得他会强到这个程度。现在是还有一点点欠缺，他有些数据还是得单独的跟他去对，但是他会变成一个很泛的，我就想让我的 agent 去执行一些东西，然后呢，这东西背后都是些需要花钱的一些 API，然后我不想自己在就是一个一个去挂这个钱包这个 wallet，让用户信任。呃，就这个问题有点深刻了。我们一般其实最简单的就是我们先给他们一些 credit 去尝试一些产品。有很多用户是打钱进来了，然后用我们的一些服务吧。就我们现在每个月的每天的成交量在就可以看那个 X402的那个 scan，有点忘了数据。哎哎，等一下，对，可以看到我们现在的facilitator 是大概是18000笔，然后大概 volume 在1300，然后对，就每天大概是这个量，因为就是这些 endpoint 都比较便宜嘛，所以可能有1毛的呀、1分的呀，所以就对整体的这个 volume，就这个钱的 volume 不是特别特别高，但是我们现在是排第二，这样可以。
OK，看看大家，没有什么别的问题的话，今天其实时间也差不多了，其实今天就差不多到这里结束啦。非常感谢 Sky 老师的时间，非常感谢你的
好，
准备，然后
谢谢。
回答问题。对，然后大家也可以扫一下这个码，然后有什么问题也可以单独的请教老师。OK，那我们今天就到这里，然后还是提醒各位记得要打一下自己的卡，同时也希望大家就是多多报名黑客松，然后耽误自己的项目吧。OK，谢谢老师。
谢
OK，
谢谢谢
谢谢各
邀请。
位。谢谢。OK，拜拜。
谢谢，拜拜。拜拜。谢谢，谢谢各位。